Mr. Wright, congratulations. We've had a chance to visit. I have a number of questions, but before, and I'm going to submit most of them for writing. There were some questions from the senior senator from California about wildfires, and you were abruptly cut off from trying to answer, and he apologized for cutting you off. But I would want to give you time to now respond, if you'd like to, for some of the comments that he had made that you weren't able to respond to.
Oh, as someone who has spent my life focused on poverty and poverty abatement in our country and abroad, seeing people suffering, seeing people in pain, seeing people lose family members, lose their property, lose their sense of self, lose their security is absolutely heart-wrenching. It's horrible to watch what's happening in LA today. And wow, these are the kind of things we want to protect people from. We want to make our society more resilient, stronger. There's no words to say in the middle of a personal trauma, you know, that reflect global policy and all that. These are human tragedies that touch every one of us. I lived in California for 19 years, have lots of friends in the LA area. I probably get emotional talking about it. It's horrific to see what's happening there. We need to do everything we can to get those fires out, to get that infrastructure rebuilt, and to get people to return to the lives they had before it was visited on by these horrific fires.
I agree. It's heartbreaking, and I know we have our Wyoming National Guard there with equipment as well as manpower in trying to do that. I did what Senator Cortez Masto made a point about. Actually, it was your answer to Senator Cortez Masto mentioned that we've lost the capacity to enrich uranium. And America is dependent on imports right now to fuel our nuclear reactors. We have extremely limited commercial enrichment and conversion capacity, not in America's best interest. In 2023, Congress passed the Nuclear Fuel Security Act. We repurposed $2.7 billion in funding to support this goal. If confirmed, will you make it a priority to build and secure our nuclear fuel supply chain?
Senator, absolutely. I know we shared that concern in our dialogue in your office. It is a significant hole in the U.S. arsenal right now, a technology we developed, but yet we import most of it from abroad, and most that's enriched in the U.S. is by companies that are not American companies in the U.S. Yes, we need to build American nuclear infrastructure on mining, on enrichment, on power production, and on waste disposal, which is a tough challenge.
Congress passed legislation to ban imports of Russian uranium in the United States. This law is intended to revive American uranium production, strengthen our nuclear fuel supply. It has to be implemented correctly. The Secretary of Energy has the discretion to provide waivers to companies seeking to import uranium from Russia. Do you agree these waivers should be very limited and used only in extreme circumstances?
Senator, I would agree with that assessment. It is very sad how dependent we have become on imported enriched uranium from Russia. That is a sad state of affairs where we are today. We need to get beyond that, but we need to get beyond that without shutting down the nuclear power plants we have running today. So it is an area that requires urgent action.
Because it does seem that as the shutdown in Russian uranium, now we see more imports from China. So the next issue is confirm will you support efforts to end uranium imports from China as we continue to try to build the U.S. nuclear supply?
Yes, Senator, that is another country on which we should not be dependent upon for critical supplies. And of course, enrich uranium to turn on our lights and power our factories are critical supplies.
And then finally, with regard to advanced nuclear reactor and demonstration projects, Department of Energy's Advanced Reactor Demonstration Program is meant to help developers overcome some of the hurdles that we have in terms of the expense early on. With the development, programs receive broad bipartisan support from this committee and across the Congress. So I look forward to getting the current projects over the finish line. Will you ensure the Department continues to be a faithful partner in this mission?
Yes, Senator, I think that is a key role of the U.S. government and particularly of the Department of the Energy to help bridge these technologies that have lots of running room, but mostly for government regulatory burden and uncertainty have not been able to reach full commercial status yet.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.